When you are working with pressure microphones or with reference, you need to trust, you need to be able to trust what you're hearing. Because we cannot trust our hearing. Our brain and our ears are playing tricks with us. Because we want to hear, or we're hearing what we want to hear, what we would like to hear. Sometimes we're hearing stuff that has never been said. I know that from my wife. Sometimes we hear stuff that we heard before, but in a different tone or a different character. I'd like to give you a little experiment or a little example of that, and this is where I bring in the Pro Tools. See, here I have 4 seconds of pink noise. We all know what that sounds like. It's fantastic sound, right? It's really full, rich. It has everything that we want. So it's nice to go back to this pink noise once in a while, just to feel, yeah, we have it. We have it all. These speakers are really nice. The room is a little reverberant, but it's nice just to go back to the pink noise once in a while. Anyway, I'll copy this twice, so now we have 12 seconds. And now I will do a little trick with you on the middle 4 seconds. I will remove 3 kilohertz with a notch filter. You see what I'm doing? So now the first part and the last part sounds like we know it. The middle part sounds pink noise minus 3 kilohertz. 3 kilohertz is, if we are looking at speech, the spoken word. We have a voice consists of frequencies from around 100 hertz up to around 10 kilohertz. A little below and a little higher, depending on the person. But mainly between 100 and 10 kilohertz. The consonants, the T's and the P's and all the hard sounds, they lie in the area between 2 to 4 kilohertz. Without those consonants, it's just muffled sound. We can't hear the words. It will all be sounded like, I don't know, something under a pillow or something, if you don't have the consonants. So the consonants are the differentiator on the words. If we don't have the consonants, it will be ah, you, ah, wah, wah. Everything. Really difficult to understand. Problem is that the consonants, we cannot add power to the consonants. You try it for yourself. Try to yell the sound of the T. Not the E, but the T. T. It's really hard to add level to the consonant. We can add level to the vowels, all, or even worse. But when we are adding level to the vowels, or if we are yelling really loud, and without having the ability to add level to the consonants, we are shifting the balance between the consonants and the vowels, and we are decreasing speech intelligibility. So we are super, super, super dependent on that area between 2 to 4 kilohertz. And our ears have the highest sensitivity right at 3 kilohertz. We are tuning in at 3 kilohertz all the time. That's where we get fatigue also. If we are in a rock concert and we hear too much snare drum all evening, or too much guitar, or too much harsh vocal, we get fatigue, and we as sound engineers, we have a tendency of ducking that 3 kilohertz because it's really irritating, because our sensitivity is so high in that area. So, because we have this really high sensitivity, our ears will tune up or change the balance when the 3 kilohertz is missing. If you were in a theater and you were not hearing the consonants of the actors, your ears will tune up and then will start looking for the consonants. And this little experiment, that will prove that, what I'm saying. My belief is that when you hear this, the first part, and the last part. And when you hear the last part, after hearing the middle part without the 3 kilohertz, your ears have already, in those 4 seconds, have tuned in to the lag of 3K, so you will hear more 3K at the last part, the last 4 seconds, than you hear on the first 4 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll play the 12 seconds for you now. Oops. You heard more at the last part than you heard on the first part. And it's not because I'm tricking you. I haven't changed the last part. It's your brain that is tricking you. This is just to say that we are really, really stupid. We are deceived in just 4 seconds, which means that basically if you start EQing on something and if you haven't done it in 4 seconds, you have to start all over again. You don't have to start all over again. You can just have some really nice pink noise in your back pocket and bring that front if you are in doubt on what you are hearing. You could also have a nice piece of music that you like, that you know how the bottom end sounds, how the snares, the level of the snare sounds, and so on. How many here are working in recording studios? Many of you. Have you ever been mixing an album at night when you are really tired and you have to finish before the next client comes in the next morning? I've done that. I've been working in the studio round the clock, like almost 24 hours, because I had to deliver a mix for the customer. And when I heard it after sleeping a few hours and I heard it again, it was like, okay, I have to start over, because I didn't have the reference. I didn't take the time to go back and listen to some nice pink noise once in a while, or a song that I really liked. That was one mistake I made, and never do that again. So always have some sort of a reference that you can trust.